I noticed a lot of people in some of the congestive heart failure groups and some of the type 2 diabetes groups that I'm in that have been on a whole food plant-based diet for several years, and they haven't seen any progress or regressions in their illnesses, and there's a reason for that. Oils, salts, and sugars are extremely detrimental to our health. Now, with that said, you could be on a whole food plant-based diet, but when you're cooking your foods, if you're using oils or adding salts, it's going to regress your ability to heal. And what I mean by that is if you are adding sugars to your diet, it's going to spike your insulin levels, and scientifically has been proven that it causes an inflammatory response. If you're suffering from congestive heart failure and you've been on a whole food plant-based diet and you're adding oils and salts, it's adversely affecting your heart. And that's really important. People always ask me, I don't believe it was a fluke that my recovery was so quick. I have 3 cardiologists in my network, and they all stated that my recovery was rapid. I recovered from latter stage congestive heart failure within 7 months. I know many of you have been suffering, I'm going to say between 2 years and 15 years. If you've been suffering for longer than 2 years with congestive heart failure or type 2 diabetes, we need to seriously address your diet. It means that you're adding foods that are adversely affecting your recovery. When I was diagnosed with congestive heart failure, my ejection fraction percentage was 20%. Once it goes down into the teens, we're in a fatal situation. Anything under 40%, we are at risk for sudden cardiac death, which is what I suffered when I had my heart attack behind the wheel. I died behind the wheel, and it was as a result of undiagnosed congestive heart failure. And when I was finally tested, my heart was only operating at 20%. Now, I know a lot of you are between maybe 15% and 40%. And if you get your echocardiogram and your results are not going in a positive direction, reach out to me immediately. It's important that I assess your diet and we make the appropriate changes as soon as we possibly can. When our ejection fraction is below 40%, and I've read a lot of posts recently this week about people that are at 40%. Just so you know, whether you have private, public, or Medicaid, Medicare insurance, you're welcome, Amy. Once we reach 40%, they will no longer, well, first off, those of you that are on a Nestro, I was on it. Once your ejection fraction reaches 40%, a Nestro is no longer covered. So I'm no longer on that. Additionally, your insurance won't cover an ICD, an implantable cardiac device that is a defibrillator. Your insurance won't cover that either. It's important that if you do start reaching 40%, that we make an aggressive change to your diet to ensure that 70% is a normal ejection fraction. The heart very, very rarely will go to 100%. 70% is an athlete. That's normal. So our goal is to hit 70% with an ejection fraction diagnosed through an echocardiogram. And the closer we can get, if you can get over 60%, you're practically healed. Here's the problem with being healed. Don't take that as a sign that you're clear and free from it reoccurring. Now, my cardiologist at National Jewish Health, I'm off of 3 medications out of 5 right now. There are no scientific studies that show that once our ejection fraction normalizes, either exceeds 40% or goes back to the 70% ejection fraction, that we're going to be safe from it not reoccurring. There's only one way that we can, I'm not going to use the word guarantee, but to make us heart attack proof and sudden cardiac SCD, sudden cardiac death proof, is to follow the Caldwell Esselstyn protocol. No oils or salts or sugars for the duration of your lifetime. Once our hearts are damaged, and once we can heal back from congestive heart failure, oh, thank you so much, Anne. This will be available online. I apologize. This is like my 3rd video because we kept losing internet connectivity. I felt that this is really, really important, and I kept losing internet. So I'm going to continue on the feed. I'm in the sun, and it's a little awkward, but I'm okay with this because I feel that my message is more important than my uncomfortable sitting in the sun. So This is important to me to get this out there, even if people get to view it later on. I post this to thousands of people, but there's only 9 of us. So people are busy. It's a Sunday and I deal with 16 time zones. So I don't know when to do these broadcasts. I can't schedule it because so many people are still unavailable. So this will be available and I'll post this and I'll cross post the result of this video. I was hoping I was going to get some questions from the congestive heart failure groups. Those of you that have type 2 diabetes that are still undermanaged, see, this is why. We have planes, we've got animals, and we've got critical care helicopters that come across back and forth. Thank you, Gail. There's a huge difference between a whole food plant-based diet, and there is a difference between no salts, oils, and sugars. And it's important that those of you that are not seeing progress, you know what, I'm going to sidetrack for a second, because so many of you want to lose weight, and I know your doctors either may or may not say that you need to lose weight. How about, as a whole, we put that weight loss off to the side? This is what I teach in my live classes at National Jewish Health, online and in my forums, is don't think of weight loss and don't give yourself an anxiety-ridden goal to lose 15 pounds or 20 pounds or 50 pounds or 100 pounds. How about you work with Chef Jeff and we give you a protocol that heals you first? The advantage to healing first is that weight loss will come off. It'll come off on its own. Don't focus on how much you weigh or how your clothes fit. I would rather see you either in tight sweatpants or baggy sweatpants, but know that we're healing you, that your health is improving. If we can get your blood sugar under control, and I mean when you wake up in the morning and your blood sugar is balanced, that's a great way to start. Let's get you on a path to healing first, and then your weight loss will follow. That's why we don't count calories, we count nutrients. Eat foods that are rich in nutrients, not foods that are dense in calories. There's a lot of diet protocols out there, and there's that high-fat, low-fat type ketogenic diet. Please adhere to not listening to those posts or people that have succeeded. Here's why. When you go on a high-fat, low-carbohydrate diet, you're going to lose weight. Unfortunately, you're going to end up with exacerbated congestive heart failure. You're going to end up with exacerbated type 2 diabetes. If you're pre-diabetic, you're going to end up with type 2 diabetes, full-blown diabetes. The research currently has proven that if your pancreas is generating so much insulin, it absolutely causes cancer. We don't want to overtax our pancreas because our bodies are unable to process sugars. Now, what I mean by sugars, and it's not fruit sugars, it's processed sugars, processed carbohydrates. That's what's bad for diabetes. I saw an interesting post the other day, and a woman said to me, now, confidentiality is always at the top of my list. So those of you that interact with me know for a fact that I will never share your story or your name. I have over 200, I think today's like 209 blood test results I have on file. And I've been working with a lot of you, well, hundreds of you, and we've been monitoring your blood work and we're making the appropriate changes. And I see a lot of weight loss and I see a lot of type 2 diabetes reversals. I suspect I'm over 130 type 2 diabetic reversals, and it resulted in nearly 4,000 pounds of weight loss. But we never focused on the weight loss. We focused on getting you healthy first. So there's a lot of factors in congestive heart failure that we need to take into consideration. When I first met my cardiologist, who's a vegan plant-based cardiologist at National Jewish Health, this is what he told me. First off, he said I needed a good support structure above and beyond diet, because if we don't have people that can encourage us, yeah, did you see her in the background? Yes, I have the hens behind me. If we don't have a support structure, we're going to fall off the wagon very easily, especially if you're living in a household where you're trying to eat a clean diet and either your husband, your wife, your children, your aunts, your uncles are eating a poor diet, standard American diet. Now, they may not be sick yet, or they might be very sick and on medication and don't care to change their protocol. You are the one I'm focused on, not them, you. When they decide to come up to par, thanks, Robert, I appreciate that. When the rest of the people that surround you see your progress, they might become more interested and they might remove some of those foods from their diet. And I know for a fact that it's difficult for you to eat a tofu scramble while everyone else is eating sunny side up eggs. But it's important that all of you know that 1/2 of an egg, whether it's a white or the yellow, increases your chances of dying by 88%, and it increases your chances of type 2 diabetes and congestive heart failure by over 135%. I know it's difficult, and the people that you're watching eat these foods, you know for a fact are going to get sick if they're not already sick. It's important that I focus on you because you're the one whose attention I have. So when other people see that your progress is actually going in a positive direction, eventually they'll come up to speed, and I hope that they do. And I know that it's very difficult to deal with an environment where you're the odd woman out, or you're the odd man out, and you're eating a diet. And this is what's interesting, and a lot of you will understand this, that when you're on a diet and carnivores or people that eat a standard American diet, they look at you and they feel bad for you. It's interesting. Oh, I'm so sorry that you have to eat salad, or I'm so sorry that you can't have bacon or this cheese. Well, I feel bad for them. Don't feel bad for yourself. Feel bad for them because they're not up to speed yet. They have not awoken to the fact that what they're doing is slowly killing themselves. As Dr. Michael Greger states, there are two choices. We could either hit ourselves with a small hammer, which means making minor adjustments to our diet, which ends in the same result, death, or we could hit ourselves with a sledgehammer and get it done quick. That's a very powerful statement, and I promote that all the time, and I appreciate that he states that because I share it all the time. Don't hit yourself with a small hammer, and don't hit yourself with a sledgehammer. If we could not hit ourselves with any hammer, imagine this. You have a small hammer and you're hitting your toe. It's mildly painful, and a lot of us can handle that pain, right? The end result is going to be a broken toe. If we hit ourselves with a sledgehammer, within one shot, it's going to break your foot. So pick your poison. I'd rather you didn't pick any poison, and we embrace a whole food plant-based diet. So there's a huge difference between those of you that are not recovering on a whole food plant-based diet versus those of you that embrace an Esselstyn protocol or Dr. Ornish. Those protocols are over 55 years old. I deal with a lot of people that slam Dr. Esselstyn. And you know what? People that criticize you for this type of a lifestyle choice have never been critically ill. And in the event that they are critically ill, they're probably going to hit you up. They're going to have then they're going to be interested in the changes that you made because your health is improving while theirs is quietly degrading. It's very hard to witness other people get sick. They're undiagnosed, and you know for a fact they're going to be ill. Keep doing what you're doing. Stay steadfast on your protocol. Remove the oil, salts, and sugars from your diet. Follow my lead. I am fully recovered, and I go for another echocardiogram the next couple of months, and I do get blood work done very, very soon, and I will continue to share those with you. Those of you that have congestive heart failure, my diagnosis and my progression as far as the regression of my heart disease is published. It's in my group page under Chef Jeff's Medical Records. You could see year over year my echocardiogram and how I went from a 20% ejection fraction all the way back to 70%, where the entire cardiac department was rejoicing. My physician's assistant that specializes in cardiac care, I picked her up off the ground. I felt so inappropriate, but I was so excited, and she was exuberantly happy for me that I'm the role model for the hospital. And that's why I am the counselor and facilitator of National Jewish Health in Denver, Colorado, the hospital that saved my life. I am their plant-based counselor now for transitioning to plant-based diet. Every month we have a group meeting in a stadium-seated conference room, and I get to interact with people in life in real time. And the hospital refers people to me to assist them on their journey. I can't tell you, and I can't express in the proper words how that excites me to the point of tears, because an institution that saved my life has allowed me to volunteer to the same institution to allow me to help and guide other people from dying. What on earth could possibly be better than that? There's nothing on this planet that I could possibly ever think of doing. As a child, everyone wants to be an astronaut. If I had my life over again with my current experience as a child, I would want to be a plant-based counselor. That's what I would want to be, and that's what I am right now. And I was able to do it myself. So it makes me very emotional because I don't have any words to describe what I'm doing now as my life. My life was saved by an institution, and now I get to save the lives of hundreds, if not thousands, of other people. And I'm doing it, and it's working. So those of you that are discouraged, and you know what? I'm going to segue into this. So many people that I deal with are so sick, so tired, so fed up, so depressed, and so anxiety ridden that you're giving up because you don't have the support structure that you need. Even if you had a great support structure, if you don't maybe have the Chef Jeff in your life that can actually give you a digital hug or call you on the phone, and I encourage all of you, let's arrange a call. Let's talk. I don't charge for this at all. Talk to me. Tell me if you fell off the wagon, if you ate something that you shouldn't have. You know what? Get it off your chest and share those things with me, because I feel that it's almost like a confession. I'm going to call it a whole food plant-based confession. Thank you so much, Anne. And you know what? It's hard for me not to actually cry on this call right now. I'm choked up because the impact of the lives that I affect is so great. And watching people recover is beyond my own comprehension. And what's very frustrating to some when they don't understand that plants heal is that, do you realize that a can of beans, 1 cup of beans a day, just 1 cup, whether you make them yourselves or they come out of a can, decreases mortality by half? And that's just beans. If you include cruciferous vegetables, I'm crying. I apologize. I'm a little choked up. The protocol is so simple. If we just remove the oils and the salts from our diet, and for those of you joining, I'm a little choked up, so if my eyes are a little teary, this whole subject matter really gets to me hard. Just a handful of protocols makes a difference between life and death. And I know a lot of you are sick and you have a hard time making these foods. Hold on 1 second. I'm really choked up. A can of beans, 1 cup of dark leafy greens, 1 cup of cruciferous vegetables, remove oils, salts, and fats will put you on the path to healing. Now, you're going to read on social media this concept of detoxification. And those of you that have seen my live videos, this is more of an emotional video than I've done in the past, but detoxification doesn't exist. And maybe some of you are going to leave this group for me saying that, but all that is a social media term that's describing the changes that your body are making to balance a bad diet that you previously had. So yeah, if you don't eat a lot of greens and your fiber is low and you have a lot of gas and farting and some of you might end up with diarrhea or constipation, no, that is not as a result of detoxification. To me, detoxification is removing metals out of your system. You're not going to detoxify from salt. You can't detoxify from meat. You can't detoxify from sugar. It just doesn't exist. It's a broad-stroked term for the adverse effects that a lot of you are feeling just by changing your diet. Yeah, you're going to get bloating. You're going to become, I don't know, constipated sometimes, and you might end up with some diarrhea. And I could talk blatantly to all of you and those of you that will watch the video after the fact, but all that is a result of your gut biome changing. There are 2 types of biomes in your stomach. A meat-based biome, which are bacteria that feed on dead meat, and then there's the plant-based biome that feeds on prebiotics. And prebiotics are the fiber that are found only in plants, fruits, nuts, seeds, and vegetables. It's simple when we understand the concept. There's only like 5 rules involved in turning our health around. And unfortunately, social media, I'm going to sidetrack. Those of you that have been to my website, this will give maybe some sincerity to what I'm doing, because I don't care how many people are viewing me and I don't care how many views or hits I get on my website. If you go to chefjeffdoucette.com, compare my site to everyone else's. There are no ads. There are no Google ads. There is no erroneous anything. All it is straightforward recipes and photos. That's it. My articles, I'm not selling anything. I'm not embracing Google hits. And I'll be honest with all of you, in the last 5 days, I've got over 45,000 visitors to my website. Could I have monetized that? Yeah, I could have. But who wants to see that? My objective is to reach as many of you as often as I can and not fill your environment with advertisements that are going to make me $11 a month. You know what? I have a job. I'm a software engineer. I have other ways of making money. I recovered from heart failure and it's important, and diabetes, and I want to help all of you do it too. So if I was in it for a monetary reason, I'd be publishing all my books and ebooks and ads. Go to my website, chefjeffdoucette.com. You won't find anything there other than raw data. The pages aren't going to be slow to load because I'm not inducing all these ads, and I promise you, I will never ever do that. I have no reason to do it because my motives are different than everyone else's. It's important that I help as many as I can for as long as I can, and I don't want your experience to be clouded with pictures. And there are so many groups, you just want the recipe. How many of you see photo paragraph ad? You have to scroll through 5 to 10 pages just to get to the ingredients. Hit my page, the ingredients are right at the top. I want you to get there, get the information you need, and move on. That's my goal. That's how important that is to me. Go vegan, absolutely. But unfortunately, a lot of vegans have heart disease, and a lot of vegans are overweight, and a lot of vegans are sick and dying, and they die prematurely. Yes, we're going to save animals. At the same exact time, we're going to save our own health. So why don't we get healthier together? And as I've said in previous videos, we're going to save animals, but if you're dead at 27, how many animals did you save? If we could live to 100, we're going to save 100 times the amount of animals. So let Chef Jeff help you get healthy so that we could save more animals, because if you're lethargic and sick, you can't be an activist without dragging your butt around. You can't get out of the house because you're ill. Be healthy. Be an activist. Do what you want to do as a vegan, but do it with energy, and know that you're going to be here for years and years and years. Save more animals by making your health perfect. Have the energy to be a leader in some of these groups that are activists. If you're a vegan, I'm pleading with you, get healthy so that you have the energy that you need to guide other sick vegans to save more animals. To me, it just makes so much sense. And I see these groups, I don't care about my health, I will eat junk food. Well, you know what? Please stop. Let's all do it together and be healthy with the most amount of energy we possibly can have. The healthier we are, the more energy we will have, and the more vigor we will have to help and save more animals. We got to save ourselves at the same time, but put ourselves first, please. I appreciate that, Jennifer, and I just hope that you're on the path to wellness, because if you're sick or getting sicker as a vegan, your contribution is going to degrade as you age, and I'd rather see us be 60, 70, 80, 90, and be blowing away the 20-year-olds like I could do right now on the basketball court at 52 years old. So I have unlimited energy. I could bike for 10 miles and come back, and I could go to the gym afterwards. That's a type of energy I want all of us to have. When I was diagnosed with congestive heart failure, I was at 20% ejection fraction, and Betsy will corroborate this. I couldn't get up from the chair to go to the bathroom without leaning on the wall. I had to stand over the urinal in our bathroom to pee, to catch my breath. I couldn't breathe. If I went to the bathroom on number 2, when I was done, I needed to lay down. How bad is that? I've been where some of you are, and maybe past where some of you are headed, and I don't want to see you guys there. You guys and gals, I don't want to see you there. And those of you that are approaching, or if not in the situation I was in, we could fix this. I guarantee you, we absolutely can fix this. Dr. Ornish and Dr. Caldwell Esselstyn, those protocols are over 50 years old. They're not new epiphanies by any means at all. These protocols have been around since the Cold War. Unfortunately, there was no social media, and publications didn't want to publish this information. So they were unknown, but they are now. We can make the appropriate changes, and we can reverse these illnesses. Metabolic syndrome is a combination of being insulin resistant, type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, and high cholesterol. If you have that, let's say 3 pounds off medicines, A1C 5.3, perfect. Yeah, Betsy is a classic example of it. She still has a couple more pounds to lose, but she's lost over 33 pounds. And this is my point, is that Betsy became no longer a type 2 diabetic while not having to lose a massive amount of weight. You don't need to judge your weight. 200 pounds. Jennifer, that's fantastic. And thank you so much for sharing that with us. I just hope that your blood serum cholesterols aren't elevated as a result. I'm not going to degrade your 200-pound loss, but we can lose weight and still have heart disease. It's crazy. When I first met my cardiologist, the very first thing he told me, aside from a good support structure, was that a majority of his patients are thin with latter stage congestive heart failure, type 2 diabetes, insulin resistant. That's bad. That scared the hell out of me. To know that I was a 310, 350 pound guy with heart failure almost seemed like my weight was justified based upon my illness. But when I was told by a board certified cardiologist that patients that are thin also have congestive heart failure, scared me hardcore. Jennifer, that pleases me greatly, and thank you so much for sharing that with us. You're an inspiration for us all. If you're not in my group page, Chef Jeff's Plant-Based Recipes of Natural Healing, join my group. I'll add you, and please share your story of recovery. People need to see people like you and I that have recovered, because it gives people hope. Without hope, people give up, and I don't want to see people dying prematurely when they're like this close from healing. Let's all heal together. Let's reverse these illnesses together on the exact same protocol, because it works. It undeniably works. Dr. Esselstyn has published his studies that 99.4% of his heart failure patients recovered. 99.4%. Now, I've had discussions with people that say, well, you need to add nuts and seeds. There's no evidence that says avocados and nuts have any bearing on disease. You know what? 100% of the people that state that, and I've had conversations with people that I actually removed the thread because it made me agitated. I found myself becoming extremely defensive. And those of you that are in my group, I will remove those threads if I get out of hand, because when you're relaxed and you want to go to my group page, I want it to be friendly and calm and reassuring. I don't want you to see those negative interactions with me and other people that are just so out of the loop. Most of the people that say that you could eat nuts have never had congestive heart failure. They've never had cancers. They've never had, I'm going to call it, high blood pressure to the point it's called malignant high blood pressure, which means it's over 180 to 200. Those people have never been sick, and they're telling people that are to eat nuts and avocados. If you have congestive heart failure, type 2 diabetes, you're hypertensive, high cholesterol, it's important that you follow the Caldwell-Esselstyn or the Dr. Ornish protocols. Remove your nuts and seeds and avocados from your diet, which includes coconut milk, even coconut water, even coconuts. They have to come out. The one caveat, and I posted in my group page, are all the questions, the most common questions from Dr. Esselstyn is the seeds part. He does encourage eating chia seeds and ground flax seeds for cardiovascular health and for controlling of type 2 diabetes. That's acceptable. Anything above that is an absolute no-go. You need to get your A1C score, well, by the United States, the US metric is under 6. Internationally, it's a little different, and I understand that, but if you can convert that to the US metric, you need to remove those products from your diet or you may or may not recover. My advice to you is, why take the chance? Let's embrace, you know what? I get this question a lot. What protocol does Chef Jess follow in my group page? I don't follow any. If you notice, I don't have any tag words. I don't mention Dr. Greger, Dr. Ornish, Dr. Esselstyn, Dr. McDougall, and the rest. I don't mention it, and here's why. There are certain aspects of their protocols that do not apply to everybody. So what I do is I study the top 21 plant-based doctors, and based upon the information you share with me, I will make the best recommendation to you. Well, and Dr. Esselstyn and Dr. Ornish will recommend that you can eat those until you get blood work and see if your cholesterol levels rose. There's a certain percentage of the population that I call are hypersensitive to cholesterol and hypersensitive to plant fats. And what I mean by plant fats are the poly and monounsaturated fats that generically everybody is supposed to, we're supposed to consume them because they're good. That's 25% inaccurate. The only way to know is if you get blood work and see if your cholesterol serum level rose. Only blood work can determine if you are taking in too many good fats, because sometimes our livers become hypersensitive. And when they are, they will increase your blood serum cholesterol is over 200, as high as 285. I've seen people on a whole food plant-based diet that only ingest avocados, nuts, and seeds, and man, coconut milk is so damaging. I don't recommend that to anybody whatsoever, sick or not. Nuts are good. Some are no, absolutely not. All nuts are bad if you are hypersensitive to oils. This is where you're going to see millions of websites and all these social media sites and all these professionals promoting nuts are good. No, they're only good for 70 to 75% of the population. That's why the Caldwell Esselstyn and the Ornish protocols are so effective. Um, well, yeah, cooking from the garden is always good. I mean, if we can grow our own food, that's fantastic. But my point to drive home, and the sun is going down over the house, is that no, remove all nuts and seeds and avocados from your diet if your blood work shows a rise in cholesterol levels. Yes, Kimberly, nuts and seeds and avocados are extraordinarily healthy for the 75% of you that are not hypersensitive to those fats. If we are sick, type 2 diabetes, metabolic syndrome, cardiovascular disease, absolutely, unconditionally, no. You will not see a reversal, and if anything, it might end up in an early death. Cannot, absolutely cannot. Well, actually, the percentage is over 90 to 97% of the population cannot digest milk products. And there's a reason. We're not meant to digest casein, and that's a protein that's in milk that humans are not meant to eat. Depending upon nationality, it depends. Some ethnicities are more hypersensitive. The answer is do not consume those products. They cause cancer in 100% of the cases. Whether you don't have a negative response to drinking milk, yogurts, whether it's Greek yogurt, I don't care. It doesn't matter what it is. It's going to kill you. It's going to give you cancer. 125% of the population that consumes dairy will eventually get cancer, and it'll end your life. So no, dairy is bad whether you're a vegan or not. So it doesn't make any difference. Non-dairy is different. It doesn't include the casein or the hormones or the estrogen that are bovine estrogens in your diet. So yeah, non-dairy frozen desserts are good with a caveat. They're very high in fat. If you have congestive heart failure or type 2 diabetes or suffer from metabolic syndrome, high cholesterol, absolutely not. That's a big thumbs down. No. Dr. Ornish and Dr. Esselstyn will give you a huge one of these. Down. Do not do it. You're going to exacerbate your illness and you will not recover. And as a result of it, you are susceptible to sudden cardiac death, which could happen at any time. In your sleep, going to the bathroom, going for a walk, starting your car. Why? Err on the side of caution, and I've always done that. So this is getting a little weird. The sun is going down a little bit. So my weight is continuing to regress. I'm getting better and better. I'm over 2 years recovered from my congestive heart failure, and I want all of the ones that of you that are watching to recover as well. So I will do this again. The time frame is hard, and I expected far many live viewers because I knew there was going to be more questions. But feel free to answer the post down below when I hit finish, and I will address each question after the fact. I was hoping to answer more live questions, but yeah, I figured it's a Sunday, people are busy, but a lot of people should be free. So that's why it's hard. Well, that's also good, Jennifer. Soda is 1 degree higher from battery acid on a scale. Battery acid is a 1 on the pH scale. Soda is 2.5, and Gatorade is 2.7. Do not drink those sugared products. They're very harmful to our health. No. Kimberly, my ejection fraction went from 20 to 70 in 7 months. 7 months. I'm an all-star at the National Jewish Health as far as the fastest recovery ever recorded. And there's a reason for that. The reason for that is I immediately went whole food, plant-based, no salts, oils, or sugars. I exercised daily. I walked. I exercised. I meditated. I did everything I was told to do. And within 7 months, I went from dead to being vibrant of an 18-year-old. I had an angiogram. They went through my groin into my heart. My arteries are that of a child, basically an 18-year-old, at 51 years of age with congestive heart failure. So it's behind me now. It's important that I get this message out to as many people as possible. And I'm hoping that those of you that didn't get a chance to see me live, reach out to me directly. Well, I wouldn't say I'm a health machine. I follow the protocols to the T. I did my research. I followed what was imposed on me. I did everything everything that was told, and I did, and it worked. Actually, Anne, I was August 11th, 2018, physician, PCRM.org. The Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine was founded by Dr. Neil Bernard in 1988. Every year in Washington, D.C., they have a symposium with between, I don't know, 700 and 1,100 medical professionals from over 50 countries. My cardiologist was on stage and profiled me as a successful case study at PCRM's Washington, D.C. on August 11th. So yeah, internationally, people know about me. My phone ran off the hook with doctors from all over the country wanting me to come do speeches there. But we'll see. It's important that people see that I regressed end stage death and I'm recovered from dying on this protocol, and it works. So those of you that are frustrated, reach out to me. Those of you that don't have any recipes, go to my group page, Chef Jeff's Plant-Based Recipes and Natural Healing. 150 of my recipes are there. Not a single one contains oil. They're all 0 to low sodium. Follow the protocol. Reach out to me. Chef Jeff Doucette at gmail.com is my email address. Let's start up a correspondence. Let me put together a program for you, and let's all get healthy. So I appreciate the 8 or 9 of you that have watched my live feed for the last hour. So hopefully some of you will be able to watch this after the fact, and it's real dark now. Thank you for working with me today, all of you, between the different feeds. Love, like Kimberly, to you also. We should probably talk soon. Let's do a conference call. Jennifer, congratulations on your recovery. Stay steadfast and share your journey with as many as possible. Jennifer, go to my group page and share your story so that the almost 5,000 people in my group can see your recovery and they can feel hope. Hope is important. Share your recoveries with me, your weight losses, your regressions as far as illness with me. And the rest of my audience, which is I have about 17,000 followers, will see it as well, and I'll promote you. And people need to see that we have recovered and it's possible. So wishing everybody a fantastic Sunday. And for my Aussie friends out there, I know it's tomorrow already. So wish you guys a great morning as well. Thank you for joining. I apologize for the sun is going down. I feel great. I'm going to go inside and do some cooking. And I wanted to do this today so badly. Thank you so much for all of you that have watched. And we'll do this again. I don't know how to do a time frame that's conducive to a larger audience. You know, hitting 9 people it helps those that are watching, but I don't hit a larger audience with a live feed is harder. So we'll work with it. You can see me, I'm all dark now. So wishing everybody a fantastic day, and we'll talk again soon. So comment below any concerns that weren't answered if you watch the video after the fact. And super hugs. I'm hugging all of you. Hugs and kisses from Chef Jeff. Let's get healthy together. You all have it. Don't worry. You feel sick. Don't worry. Reach out to me. We'll deal with it. Wishing everybody a fantastic day. Love you all. Love Chef Jeff.